This is oops. Dink. I don't see me. There I am. Looks nice tonight. So we're just loading up because we have one person, which is probably me. Now we have 4 people.
I got 5 showing on.
I got 5 on Insta.
Captions are auto-generated.
Hello, Ford.
Ford is on with us. There we go.
Hello,
Hi,
Alcide.
Merry Mobsters.
Are we monsters?
I am
Sometimes.
I am a Christmas elf tonight.
I'm a Krampus elf.
You're a Krampus elf.
I am totally a Krampus elf.
And Rich is, are we a jolly elf or a Krampus elf?
Relatively jolly.
Okay, he's a relatively jolly elf. So, hi everybody. We are in the load-in section of the show. Andrea saying hi everybody. Okay, so I am going to start the show by saying hello and welcome to any YouTubers out there. Because
Yes.
we have really taken over the YouTube nealadams.com channel, and they're probably all going, who is that girl?
That doesn't look like Neal to me.
Why is she showing comic books and not science? So I just want to say to the science people that we are going to do some science. I think Z and I are going to take on a little bit of science. We will be doing way more comics because we're more familiar in that area, but we know a little bit about science. And I think we are going to even try a small science show in our future with the Neal Adams science stuff, and Zia will probably be on camera because I will torture her. And,
Yay!
Because Zia knows more about that because she went through all of the editing and morphing of Neal's science project. And for us who like comics, I will say Neal's science actually has some great art. And I've held on to all the art that was part of his science. Not that I'm going to be selling it, but we've held an awful lot of it. So we can show that along the way with also showing bits and pieces of, I know there are times where Z and I will break out and go, well, I didn't really believe in Dad's science theory till this happened. Or you'll hear me say, well, for me, it wasn't until we did Ganymede. And then most of you will go like, what is Ganymede? So we're going to show those things that we talk about sometimes, because sometimes it is interesting and it is something new. And Neal always believed in sharing. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Everything that he did. So I think we may bring in some science stuff. So I just feel like we have bombarded his science YouTube people with no explanation of what's going on.
Yes.
So this is actually Neal's, a continuation of what Neal was doing actually pre-COVID, where we started selling his comic art, prints of Neal's, usually clays, books, all the stuff that makes Neal Adams. We were doing a show twice a week with Neal, and then Neal got sick, and then we lost Neal, and we continued on with doing the show. And we were watching a lot of shows because we're trying to pick up little snippets of Neal to even possibly add into the show now that we kind of have this new format that we're doing. So we're going to be bringing in little snippets of Neal, which I hope you guys like, and we're not doing it in a negative way on any level. So I don't want anyone to get upset. Neal would love it. Everything that Z and I are doing are all the things that we know that Neal would love us to be doing, and the fact that we have continued on would probably make him very happy. So we have all kinds of plans and all kinds of dumb things we'll be doing. I hear we're going to make snow slime.
We are going to make snow
I
slime.
hear we're
Yes.
making snow slime. I hear there is going to be another Martha Stewart,
Julia Childs.
Julia
combo.
Childs will be making the Martha.
We shall be making not a debut. It would be a encore, shall we say?
Encore.
Yes.
And we're going to be making Martha Stewart's eggnog and Neal Adams White Russians. And maybe a can of Diet Coke. And we'll probably have that up next week. So we have something fun to watch over Christmas, and maybe you want to try a Neal Adams White Russian over Christmas.
Sarah says Martha and Julia cage match. Can't wait.
Well, we do have in the future, because I did promise Zia that we would have a Tyrannosaurus Rex fight.
That's true.
So,
But you know, I do have the height advantage in that case.
but I want to be a hippo, and you could be a Tyrannosaurus Rex, because I want a hippo and Tyrannosaurus Rex fight. So
that could be awesome.
I saw this really cool hippo outfit. So
Are you a hungry? Well, I know you're not a hungry hippo now because you have.
no, I ate too much to be a hungry hippo. Okay, so obviously we have lots of fun games, and now that we have 15 people on, I can actually kind of start our show. But that is the type of stuff we're planning with our new format and being on YouTube, Facebook, and then today we found out that we can actually get possibly Instagram also onto this. So you'll be able to see these great pans and scans that we're showing on Facebook and YouTube.
I just got the notification today, but it's a bit complicated, so we didn't want to try it tonight.
Right, we'll probably try it over Christmas.
Speaking of which, my Instagram feed just went out
Don't.
completely, so I relaunched.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, so Instagram will come back. I was just going to say, for those people on Instagram.
For those people on Instagram, you will be right back.
Right, so we're just going to hold up one.
Chris is frozen now.
I'm frozen now.
And no.
Let me make a good frozen face.
That's pretty good.
It was actually fun watching old videos of the show where Neal is obviously carrying on and on and on, and I'm sitting there doing this through the show.
At the beginning and the end, both. You start off.
Right,
trying
I'm
to
either
cut
telling him, no, we can talk about this, or let's go home.
Yeah.
So that was funny. All right, so how are we on Instagram?
It says we're live. It says we're telling your followers that you started a live video, and we have people coming back in.
Okay. To answer Andrea, who wants to know, will there be 2 shows next week? There is going to be the Julia and Martha drink show, which we will not be selling ours.
The eggnog show.
Right. But we are hoping that we may have a guest appearance of somebody.
Ooh.
And we will be doing our Wednesday night show. We will not be doing our Friday night show, because I got lots to do. This Martha Stewart, Julia Childs show will be. This will be the last time we do it. And unless we do the snow slime, we're making snow. What is it called? Ice slime.
Snow slime.
Snow slime.
Or frost slime?
Which
Frost
everybody
slime.
can make at home.
Yep.
It has very easy ingredients.
Yep.
We love making it, so we decided as the Adams family we are going to share our snow slime with you. Since New York no longer gets snow, now you have to make your own snow by making snow slime. So we'll be making snow slime. So there should be actually 3 shows, only one will be an art show for next week. So that is your quick, fast answer to Andrea. So what I was going to say is if you were on Instagram, I would switch over to YouTube, punch in Neal, Neal, Adams, Adams, DOT, So
All one word.
nealadams.com, but you're spelling the word dot. So once again, nealadamsdotcom. Because even if Zia puts that up, you're not going to see it on Instagram.
That is true.
Okay, so we're going to start rolling because we're now 7:45. And I want to get this going.
Rolling.
So, you know it'll never be the end of Julia Childs. Zia likes doing it too much.
Well, Julia Childs has only come up recently.
That's true. We have other characters.
But she has gotten rather dominant.
Yes. Okay, so I decided.
The other character I'm not allowed to do.
Can't do that character. So the other one is, what are the rules of our show? We're going to go through that quickly. So we are going to go back to our sharing is caring. So if you can share us out there, we would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to do fun shows in between art shows. Our rules to the show is, what are our rules? Okay, if you are wanting to buy something, such as this Batman piece in front of me, you would write in the comment bar, the same way everybody is saying hello to us or asking us questions, you would write claiming Batman Ra's al Ghul print. We will then notice you wanting that. We will make a fuss. And then we will ask you to direct message us. Now, direct messaging for right now, we will have a new email to go to for the YouTubers next week. But for tonight, we will ask you to either step into Facebook or step into Instagram, if you are on YouTube, and direct mail us through either one of those.
Right, because in that direct message, we're going to need some personal information like your name, your mailing address, and your PayPal email address.
Right, or email address. Okay. Is that all our rules? Is there all our rules? I think that's all our rules. If you buy art, we still have our payment plan where you can put the art on payment plan where you pay 1/4 to 1/3 of the price as a down payment and then make monthly payments that you control into us till the piece is completely paid off. Once it is paid off, we ship the piece out to you. So you're in control of how fast you get it. You're in control of the whole boat. Like 1 month you may have $100. Next month you may only have $20. But as long as payments are coming in, we sit and wait till it is completely paid off and then we ship it out. There are no penalties. There are no interest payments to it. Just keeping in touch with us is really all we ask of everyone to do. I hate having to find people. Okay, so we will talk about those things, I'm sure, at least 5 more times during the show. So I am now going to start our show.
Woohoo!
So I decided to start off with prints. So we have our older prints, which one of these is right in front of us. And I put this one up first because I hear through the rumor mill that they are doing a treasury size facsimile of this book with this cover, which I think is fantastic because this is a book that everybody loves. So it would be nice to have copies of this again. And the nice thing is they're doing a treasury size, which I think is also fantastic. And I say, yay, DC Comics for doing that. So this is a print of that famous treasury that came out with Batman Ra's al Ghul, where Batman's screaming because Robin might be dead. Might be. Kind of looks that way.
I may have borrowed this layout for something.
You did.
Yeah.
And Ra's al Ghul is in the background. So this print, which is signed by Neal, because this is one of our older prints when Neal was around. This is a giclée, actually. This is not a print. And then you'll say, what is the difference, Chris, between a print and a giclée? The giclées are done on a really thick stock. It's a watercolor-based paper, and the colors sit on it. Fantastic. Our prints are done on cougar paper, which is also a lovely paper. It's actually the paper that Neal drew on all the time. It is a stock paper that is at continuity, but it is a thinner paper, and we charge less for the prints than we do the giclées. Now, this is going to be at a price, even though it is a giclée, and it is signed by Neal. So this is a 13 by 19 giclée for $100 to buy. So this is where you would say, claiming Batman Ra's al Ghul if you're interested in purchasing this print.
Right, and if anybody sees somebody claim something and you don't hear us say anything, please catch our attention, because sometimes some people's claims do not turn up on our screen. All right, Ruben Gallegos has left us a message. Let's see.
Okay. I really wasn't going to sell the boxes till midway. If at midway box number 2 is still there, Ruben, it will be yours. So these boxes are also $400 tonight. They're more expensive, but they do have faces like these are in them. The faces that are behind me, those 3/4 or front-on faces that Neal has done in the past. So it is a more expensive box. It's got some really cool stuff in it. It is my Christmas box, and this will be the only night. Well, it won't be the only night. It's the only 5 Christmas boxes I'm going to do for Christmas. And Kelly Rush just said, that's the box he had his eye on. But we're not going to talk about the Christmas boxes. I'm bringing them on midway so everybody's got a chance at them, because I'm not going to be doing it. And I just claim it. Ruben, you can't just claim it, because I have not brought them on. We're slowing it down a little bit tonight, and we're
Right, because that's also not very fair to people that come on later because they're still at work.
right.
So it has to be when
Ruben,
we offer it.
I will
if you're
keep
here.
you in my head for box number 2. Okay? I'll see what I can do. All right, so here we go. I have Batman Ra's al Ghul for $100. 13 by 19. And that does come signed by Neal. And I
It looks like we have 2.
2 of them. Okay. I have tonight one Gal Gadot. Again, this is on the giclée paper. I am selling it for $100. The size of this is 13 by 19. And this is a beautiful, I'm going to go a little bit this way. I think we're a little angled. This is a gorgeous Wonder Woman, obviously off of the actress from the Wonder Woman shows. Movies, sorry. Correct? Gorgeous coloring on this.
Thank you.
Signed by Dad.
Delta 41212 on YouTube wants to know any Tarzan prints or art tonight.
I do not have a Tarzan print, but I can the next time we're on.
Or if he wants to direct message us.
Right, if you direct message us, or you can go to the nealadamsstore.com. I also don't have the Tarzan. We do have one Tarzan piece of art, I think, still available, which you can pick up at the nealadamsstore.com. So that's nealadams.com, store.com, store.com. But I do not have that in my pile for tonight. Did you put aside such a Wonder Woman for me? This is H.U. Rich.
Yeah, if he asked for it the other day, we pulled it for you.
Okay, so H.U., did you ask about this piece the other night?
Yeah, he asked for a Wonder Woman and
so we pulled
another
that.
one. Yeah.
Okay, so the answer to that is yes. And Phil wants to know, did I dig up any movie posters? No, I did not. Okay, so again, $100 for the
Gal Gadot,
Wonder Woman print. Or giclée.
Giclée.
Okay. Next one up is an interesting piece. This is the piece we actually showed, I think, once last week. This is the Amazing Spider-Man. This is the hockey cover that Neal did. It was a variant cover. Apparently, they did a print for the specially created for the Montreal Comic-Con and Marvel Custom Solutions by Neal Adams and Continuity Studios. This is signed in silver by Neal at the bottom. And I would say that's an 11 by 17 print, which was made not by Continuity, but made by the Convention of Montreal, which had this as a cover on the Spider-Man comic book as a variant cover.
And this one was how much?
This was 100. We had this as 100. So this is one of those like weird pieces. So $100. It is signed by Neal. It's done in the silver, even though you see a black signature. That's actually from the comic book itself. The silver is the new one that was put on. And that is the Amazing Spider-Man. And this is a print. 100 claim. All right, keep moving. Next one up is a 13 by 19 of Catwoman and Joker. This was their 80th anniversary covers that were comic covers, but when Neal did them as comic covers, he designed it so that it would end up becoming a print or giclée. And this is that print or giclée. So this is Joker and Catwoman up in the pouring rain, torturing Batman as usual. This is Pen and Ink Neal. This was colored by Zia digitally. This is an older piece, so this is signed by Neal and can be signed by Zia. The size on this is 13 by 19, and this is $100 to buy. And this represents the one of or two of the covers done for the 80th anniversary. They were both variant covers. Each one was its 80th, and I guess Catwoman and Joker were created on the same year. And they're both 80 years old. Actually looking pretty good for 80.
Yeah, I think it was 1940 when they were created.
Yep. So, very cool piece. Okay, next up is, this is a print. My thing is right. Oops. Okay, Superman. This piece is signed by Neal. It is 13 by, no, it's not 13 by 19.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? 13 by 19. I'm gonna try and pull it. Really nice piece. This again was also digitally put together. If you're into Superman, this is a really, really nice piece.
And this one is also 100.
Yes, this is 100. And Ruben is asking, can someone in the group tag me when the boxes go up? I'm at work and can't stay online. Okay. All right. Next up. Okay, now these are the newer giclées. So these are 200 to buy. So we're going into a different category. So this is a 13 by 19 of Conan. These are gorgeous pieces. Now these are not signed by Neal. What we do on these is we put a hologram signature piece on the back. And the reason why these aren't signed is because these were done after Neal had passed. Believe me, Neal would love signing this piece. This is a piece that he was really happy with. So this is $200 to buy. If you're into Conan or Barbarians, I would say this is a great piece to own. Very strong and menacing. And that is Conan.
And Bruno Santana said, "That's beautiful to see. I have the honor of having a Batman print that he bought at CCXP in Brazil. He thinks in 2019.
Nice. Okay, we're going to keep moving us forward because we got a lot of stuff tonight. Okay, now we're going to go on to a Neal and Zia piece, or I should say a Zia Neal piece. This is actually a giclée from a painting. The painting was actually painted by Zia, and where are my notes? Painted by Zia, but it is based off of a panel from Neal's Ben Casey strip. So this is kind of a collaboration of Zia picking up something of Neal's. Zia is Neal's daughter. And the reason why it has Neal's signature is because she's saying that, yes, I picked this up from Ben Casey and this is Neal Adams' art.
Yeah, I'm not pretending like it's my drawing.
Right. So this is a 20 by 20 giclée, which again is that great fancy stock paper. This is Ginger. We call her Ginger because she's got red hair. And we call this one I Think I'll Go In Anyway, which is illustrated by Zia. It is based on a Ben Casey panel from the newspaper strips. And
This was a 3 foot by 3 foot painting.
right.
And this is 200?
This is 200 to buy. Gorgeous piece. It's kind of in a pop art style, but it really is from the Ben Casey. So the Ben Casey, because it was done in the early 60s, kind of has that pop art feel.
Yes, Ginger does kind of have moving
I'm
antlers
sorry.
going on. No, it's cute.
Yes, she has antlers.
Oh, and
It's
Sarah
Christmas.
Snyder says, "You won't believe how great this looks on your wall." The colors did come out absolutely beautifully in this printing.
Right. And a lot of times when these prints get framed, which people have shown these prints, they look fantastic.
Yes, well, Kelly, that is my tracing of Dad's signature at the time that he did this artwork.
Right. That's like Neal's original signature before he became the Neal Adams that you guys know from comics. That is how Neal signed his name. So Neal's name has kind of changed through time.
Yeah, unfortunately, the first piece, although I had started it while Dad was still with us, it was not finished before Dad passed, and neither did the other two.
So this is Ginger. She is 20 by 20, and she is $200 to buy. And Zia will sign it.
I would love to get my hair color to turn that color. I need to bring one of these giclées to like a hairdresser and make my hair this color.
Okay. This painting is by Neal.
Yes.
So Neal had done a set of paintings that were pop art, some of which you saw during our shows if you started with us 4 years ago. We had some of these in the studio, and at various times Neal would shoot from different places in the studio. So you've seen a number of these paintings over time. This is a 20 by 20 giclée of Green Lantern called Close Up. It is based on a panel from Green Arrow is Dead. So you'll find this panel. And what Neal did was he went through his comics and pulled pieces and decided to do kind of a pop art paint feel to his stuff. The signature that you're seeing on the bottom there is a printed one that is Neal signed his name on the painting, and this is a printed signature on the bottom. Again, these will get the hologram Neal Adams signature if you buy them. This is $200 to buy. The original painting of this was 4 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yes. And they're gorgeous pieces. And they're not like hanging a black and white comic art piece on your wall. These actually frame up really. These are kind of more like the commission pieces or like some of the pieces of art that we color and sign. They frame up and they look nice, kind of like Warner Brothers store pieces.
Right, and also the edges are finished. Well, not on this, but on the actual painting, the edges are finished that you can hang it on its own. But these do look absolutely gorgeous framed and on the wall.
Right. So this one is painted by Neal.
These will get a lot of oohs and ahs from friends and anybody who visits.
Okay. This is another one of Zia's paintings.
Maggie.
This is Maggie. She is 13 by 19. And she says, and what are you going to do about it?
Yep.
So this is painted by Zia. Maggie was actually the first one of Zia's series of paintings based on the panel from the Ben Casey newspaper strip that was done May 11th, but I don't know what year.
I think it was 63.
So it was
62 or 63.
One of his early ones.
Yeah.
So this, like I said, comes from the comic strip. Again, it's on that same beautiful stacked paper. The size of this is 13 by 19. This is $200 to buy. And again, she's honoring Neal with having his signature, which was on the panel, which she pulled this from. And this is Maggie, if you're interested in picking her up. If you just say, I'd like to buy a Maggie, we'll know exactly who you're talking about.
Correct. And if you like, I did make Xeroxes of the strips that these three paintings came from that I can send along with the giclée if you like.
Right. So what we did was we made a nice copy of the Ben Casey strip that we also enclosed with the pieces that Zia did, so you can see what Neal did, and then you can see what Zia did. Right. So it's a nice little combo there. Nice gift, and I will say, wives love these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And actually, yeah, because Sarah was like, my partner loves ginger. They love ginger.
Right. Okay, this is a 13 by 19. This is, again, Neal. This is a giclée of the Green Lantern. We call this one the Ring. This one is actually based on a New York Comic Con 2009 poster that Neal did that had a lot of Green Lanterns. The bottom one is Hal Jordan, which that's what this is based on. And this was a 2.5 feet by 3.5 feet original painting. And this we had at the end of our conference room table with Neal for a good 2 years. So
there are a few videos on the history that has that sitting in the background.
Right, exactly. So this is also $200 to buy. Green Lantern.
Oh, Kelly Russ says that painting is in the background of the photo I got with Neal when I visited Continental.
Exactly. So he just never got to sign this one.
Yeah.
Because at that point we weren't signing or unless we sold it. We didn't sell this painting. So, but there would be a hologram again on the back of these. It's a hologram that has Neal's signature. It's very nice that we would put on the back of it. This is $200 to buy. Okay, this is my very large Ra's al Ghul, which I always forget what the size of this thing is.
Ooh.
This is like 21 by 22, and I don't have my tape measure. Thanks, Rich. So yeah, this is like 24 by 18. A little over 18. 18 by 24. This is obviously Batman, Talia, Ubu, and Ra's al Ghul.
And the Bedouins in the background. And the camels that really could care less.
This is a painting that Neal did. It was a commissioned piece, so somebody owns this painting out there in the world. This is a giclée of that painting. Great piece, though. And I would say this is about, I think the original was a little bigger than this, but this is very similar to the size of the original. This is $200 to buy.
The Back to Pop podcast says, beautiful piece.
Thank you.
And this is another one. The right framing just really stands out.
Exactly.
The colors are very vibrant and you can't ignore it.
Nice pieces to have up. We haven't shown these in a while, so we brought them back. Okay, next up is Zia's third girl. This is her series now. You've seen it. This is a 20 by 20 giclée. We call this one Gigi. She's the one that's what's so funny me. I never do the right thing. So this is a fun piece. This comes from the Ben Casey newspaper strip from March 23rd, 65, illustrated by Neal. And again, this is on that gorgeous watercolor paper, very thick stock. It has Neal's signature from the actual Ben Casey piece. And then, of course, Zia is signing it because this is painted by Zia. It is, once again, based on a Ben Casey panel done by Neal. This is $200 to buy or claim. Whatever word you want to use. So this is Gigi. 200, and she is 20 by 20. 20 by 20. Okay, so those are my giclées and prints for this evening. Sometimes I'll say, like, if anybody wants to see anything, now's a good time because they're easy to get to. Otherwise, they get buried.
Happy Tower says that's going next to John Wick and the GLGA canvas. Nice.
Nice.
And that says he bought one from Neal. I think he means the Ra's al Ghul one.
Mm-hmm.
He bought the Ra's al Ghul one from Neal in 2016. Looks great with a gold frame.
Makes it really warm.
Mm.
Okay. Next up, before I go to the art, I'm going to promote one more time my record.
Hello, Brent.
I do have boxes. So I'm going to push one more time. This is a special edition of a Peter Pan record, the old one, based on their monsters. This was something they made for New York Comic Con just for continuity. It has these blood red records. They did release it with black records, but who wants a black record when you can have a really cool blood red record?
Semi-transparent.
Right, that's transparent. It actually has like black in it, so that it actually does look like blood. It's hard to tell.
Oh.
In
I'm
this.
sorry, this is not 200 to claim.
No, this is 40 to buy.
We're gonna do that real quick.
These are 50.
Okay, sorry, 50 to buy, and these are exclusive to Continuity. So the only place you're going to find the blood red records is here. You can find black records, but you won't find the red ones. And this is a story of Dracula, Frankenstein, and the werewolf, which this is the original recording from when they did it a zillion years ago, back in '77. They have also published Neal's Monsters. This is the Frankenstein, Werewolf, Dracula, but this is the extended version. And even though some of you have seen this or bought it, you've never bought it as a comic book. And there are only 100 copies out there of this comic book. So again, a really nice package of something that there's only 100 of. There's only 100 of Monsters done as a comic book. We never did it as a comic book at Continuity Comics. You also get this print, which is exclusive to, once again, Continuity. So this entire package is exclusive of 100 for Continuity. There is the black and white print. You get the comic book, and then you get the blood red.
Sorry, I can't keep up with focus where you're at.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Blood red record, and these are $50 to buy all together. And like I said, there are only 100 of these out there.
And Steve Richard said, missed the whole record then. Quickly, what?
Okay. There were 100 records made for Continuity. We Are Continuity for Neal Adams. The 100 that were done were 100 comic books of Neal's monster story, which is what this record is based on. Because Peter Pan Records did, I think it was 10 pages of a Frankenstein Werewolf Dracula story. Neal took that story and made it longer. He turned it into, I think it's like 50 pages or 51 pages, which never ran as a comic book. This is the comic book, 100 only. So if you're into like collectibles, this is something that we really should like.
And
Yeah.
those who have bought this have been chiming in. They're saying record, comic, and print for $50, great deal. Sarah Snyder says whole package is great. Comic is amazing.
The red record is only through us.
Let me just interject for 1 second. So, Steve, it comes with a clear album cover so that you could show off the red album. So
Right.
that
This
is the
is the
sleeve.
package,
That is the
right.
sleeve it comes with.
Right. And we are the only ones that have this. Nobody else out there has it.
Limited to 100
Right.
copies.
That's all that was made. So they say. So it's a nice package, nice Christmas present, $50 to purchase. All right, so I'm going to move on to artwork. I'm gonna move this out
And
of
my
the way.
scanning pans.
The scanning pans. Okay, so I'm going to show art, but Zia's going to show you better art. So
And
this.
Steve Richard's going to take one of the record albums.
Okay. And you have that, right, Rich?
Yep.
Okay, and since we are in the middle of the show now, I'm going to pull out the red boxes.
So, Steve, just do us a favor. Send us a direct message through Instagram with your full name, mailing address, and email address, and I will send you an invoice on Monday. And thank you for your purchase.
Okay.
You okay with all that? You're on your maracas.
I'm just gonna do this. Here. Okay. Now what I wanted to show you guys, which I am on my rise, is that there are 5 red boxes. They are packed in their usual Chris Adams way. With this. But these are Christmas boxes. So that is a copy of a Santa Claus drawn by Neal. These are $400 to buy, so the price on these are higher.
Okay, Andrea is claiming box 4.
I'm not
Brent.
done explaining it yet. So they are $400 to buy. Inside of these, which makes them different, is lately I have been putting commercial art inside. These do not have commercial art inside. These do have comic art, meaning that I have headshots like these are inside of them. So the price on these boxes are higher because we have artwork like that. They do come with comics and the usual CGCs and lots of other cool stuff are inside. There are only 5 boxes. I think that's all I'm going to be making for Christmas.
And we are not accepting any claims until Chris says go.
Exactly. Because everybody has been wanting this, so I just want to make sure that we're cool and everybody understands this. So when I hit my cheers button, we can all then start screaming what boxes everybody wants. And we know Ruben wants 2. But everybody's fighting. So I'm going to let it go. When I hit my button, you guys can start screaming whoever gets out there first. And we now have YouTube and Facebook and Instagram all going at the same time, guys. So that's why I wanted to make it fair tonight. So $400 is most important. I don't want to hear, oh, I thought they were only $200 or $300. These are $400 boxes.
And also, too, Chris is going to be opening each one of them.
That's right. We're not just like, oh, I don't want mine open. We're going to open all of these. And they do have a really nice Santa Claus. I made them Christmassy, so they do look good under the tree. Or actually, I'll put it down here since his camera is down here. Okay. All right.
Okay, getting your claims now.
So now everybody.
Aaron says 5.
Kelly says 2.
Victor says 3.
Brent, what are you doing? Andrew's 4. Do we have any boxes left? Phil is 3. Okay.
Victor already claimed 3.
Oh, Victor.
I had Victor on 3. Lance, Aaron came at 5 first. Victor came in with 3.
Aaron was 5. Andrew was 4. Kelly was.
All right, Brent just came in with 1.
All right. He's probably right. Kelly had 2, and Phil had 3.
No, you had 3.
Well,
for
Victor came in at 3 first.
Oh, Victor came in with 3
Yeah.
first. Okay, Victor was 3. And Brent is 1.
Brent is 1.
Okay.
They're all
Sorry,
claimed.
Lance.
Right, they are all claimed.
Phil
So
said
good.
he came up first on 3 on Facebook. So where is Victor coming in from?
Yes, but Phil came in before you hit.
You got the official timestamp on your screen.
Right.
Yeah, 8:21. Well, I mean they're all about 8:21, but
No, but you'll see them in the correct order.
That's what's great about what we're currently doing.
Right. You don't have to look at different screens.
Right.
Yeah.
So is Victor ahead of Phil? We're going to look and set the videotape here.
All right. When you're done, just give me a recap of who got what.
Well, as we open these.
right, from what I understand,
Yes.
you hit the button.
Yes. And then
The first claim that I saw come in after you hit the button was Andrea.
right, at 4.
But Phil was before Andrea, but I could not tell you whether that was as you hit the button before you hit the button, because after you hit the button, Andrea was the first one that I saw.
All right, I'm going to make another box because we can't figure out Victor and Phil. So I will just make another box. Okay?
All right, just tell me who got what.
Okay.
Number
We will
boxes.
give Phil 3A, and Chris will make a 3A box. Okay, so here we go.
I'm missing somebody then.
Don't worry, we'll get there. So we're going to start with Brent with Jolly number 1 because that's on the top. Okay? And I said I would open these, so we're going to open these. But we're going to do it quickly because it's already getting late and I haven't even done art yet. Okay, so we have candy canes because it's Christmas time. We have, and they're very delicate. So if a candy cane is broken, it's gonna happen. Okay, so inside is the old comic book.
Vintage.
Thank you. Vintage comic book from Superboy. This is Superboy number 150.
Right, can you hold it still for a second so I can get focus? I'm having to hand focus everything now, so when we change distances, it's hard. Okay, we're good.
Okay. This will come into focus at some point. Okay, so Superboy is a vintage comic. It is not signed by Neal. I know I've had some that were signed by Neal. This is not signed by Neal. So that's the first piece in the box. Second piece in the box is the memorial sketchbook that we did. So that was our newest sketchbook. So that's that. We have Dark Knight 3, which is signed by Neal. Great cover. We've sold this piece as a print. Your art inside is the Joker based on Jack Nicholson from the movie. That's an original art by Neal, signed by Neal. You get a Volt, which is the new book we put out for New York Comic Con, 144 pages inside. And you get the Green Lantern number 8. It is a 9.8 yellow CGC label. And that is this box. So 9.8 CGC, Green Lantern number 8, with actually one of Neal's favorite covers. Neal loved that cover. It has the vault. It has the Joker, Jack Nicholson, original art.
He sounds very happy.
It has Dark Knight 3 signed by Neal. It has Neal's memorial book, which is not signed by Neal. And it has the Superboy Vintage number 150, not signed, unfortunately. And 2 candy canes to enjoy. So that was box number 1. And box number 1 is Brent.
All right, Brent sounds very happy.
The problem with these boxes is I can't get closed.
You have to like pump the
Yeah, I
top.
know. Okay. I'm gonna put it down here.
You put names on the boxes?
Oh, I did put names on the boxes. Okay, this one is Brent. Okay, box number 2 was Kelly Russ. Kelly was nice enough to get this for Ruben. So this is Ruben's box. So Kelly becomes Ruben. All right. Okay, so here we go. Jolly number 2. So Jolly number 2 is similar. These have a similar feel to them. They even have, we had these comics. This is another one of that same comic. This is the 150. It's a vintage It's a piece of fuzz. It's not a piece of torn comic.
Sorry, guys, that's all the boxes for tonight.
Right.
They're completely sold out.
We have the sketchbook. We have the Monsters comic book by itself. Pretty cool. And Zia will sign this for you. We have the 2 candy canes. You have a Joker original by Neal, signed by Neal.
No.
Huh?
Kelly Rusk is asking if one of
No.
the records-
I had gotten a couple of just loose comics when they made them. So I took them off my shelf and stuck them in the box. Sometimes a lot of the stuff that comes in the boxes is stuff that's coming off my shelves up here at Continuity. This is the Vault again. And you have a 9.8 of the Detective 1000. This is the middle cover, the villain cover, which probably actually the least amount printed was the villain cover. 9.8 yellow label, signed by Neal.
I'm going to need to make a list of all the CGCs we pulled.
And some of these didn't come from my notes. Some of these came from my room. So it's going to mess you up a little bit. So when we do this on Tuesday, maybe we should do that together. Because I pulled stuff from me that wasn't on the shelves. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of me in these boxes. Okay, so that was 2. So 2 is now Ruben. Because Kelly Rusk was quite a gentleman.
Thank you again, Kelly, for that. It was very nice of you.
Okay, 3 is Victor. And Phil, yours will be made by me. And I will keep you in mind when I make it.
That is not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing. So,
Which,
okay.
Victor?
Victor Savino, right?
Savino, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Okay. So again, they are very similar because a lot of this stuff, like I said, came from my area. So again, I had a run on these. This is a Superboy 150 again. We have the Memorial book. This is very similar to the last box. It has a Monsters comic, which, like I said, I will get Zia to sign this. Not a problem. This one comes with a Batman head, signed by Neal. Candy canes. Again, the Vault. And this one has a 9.8 Batman Facsimile Edition 251, and it's the Calgary edition, signed by Neal.
Another 9.8.
Yep. So, Phil, I definitely want to put the Monsters comic in your box.
Chris does not take requests.
Actually, my dad will tell you anything you ask of me, I just cannot do. You have to work reverse.
You were better off saying, I do not want the monster.
Right.
Whatever you do, don't put it in there.
Because now I just have to go the other way. Okay, so this one was, this is Victor's. Right. Ah. Okay. That was Victor's. Okay, 4 is Andrea. All right, Andrea, here we go. Can't even open Andrea's. So, Andrea has 2 candy canes. These are fruity candy canes, guys. Right? Aren't these
Yes,
fruity ones?
Starburst.
Right. So they're not peppermint. Again, Chris had a run on these 150s, so you got a 150 Superboy. Now you're gonna ask me, how did you get the run on the 150s? Okay, so we got the Neal Adams sketchbook, the Memorial Edition. Andrea got a Monsters comic book.
Maybe she can trade you, Phil.
And we have, I have a Harley Quinn, but it is not signed by Neal.
So
This is actually one of Neal's old ones. Yeah, I'll put a certificate of authenticity. I can even put a hologram signature on the back of this. This is an older one because it's actually done on white paper, and it's not done on the creamy paper. This is when we were kind of changing from that Neal Adams stock over.
I will, Andrea.
It has a vault. It has a Civil War with a remark, and this is 9 of 50. There's a little Captain America head up there.
Andrea gets
comic.
2 originals.
It's right by my finger there. And this is really hard to find. 9.6 X-Men #1.
And this was the Rhode Island
This
edition.
is the Rhode Island edition, but this is the white Rhode Island edition versus we have a red edition, which was the Crusty Bunkers. This is the Rhode Island's edition, which we have no more of these.
So, Steve, the record album is not signed by Neal. Those were produced after Neal passed.
Right. So 9.6 yellow label. So that is Andrea's box. And I love this
Andrea's
cover.
very happy with that box.
I think the white cover is great. So. And we'll back that Harley Quinn for Andrea. I didn't even notice that it was.
If you have the candy canes not on top of each other, you'll have an easier time boxing.
It's the vault.
Yeah. It's,
No, I know. It's just some of them they were on top of it.
Right. The width of the vault is what's doing it.
I get you.
Okay, so that was the port. I forgot to write Andrea on that. Okay. Jolly number 5
Aaron.
is Aaron. All right. I'm not opening Aaron's.
Who played Mr. White in those $4?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, here we go. Aaron has 2 candy canes. And just when you thought I would run out of Superboy. I'm making these in my basement right now. So again, this is a vintage 150 of Superboy. I love this cover. Neal actually loved this cover. This is one of the covers that I never saw until Neal was in the hospital. And like I said, we were assigning tons of Jimmy Olsen's Supermans and Superboys. And he really liked this cover. And I was like, I've never seen that cover, Dad. And he said, no, what? I really like this one, Chris. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is actually a Neal fave, which is the reason why I got more of them in hopes that Neal would be able to sign them, but that didn't happen. So that's the reason why I have so many of these, because I was like surprised that he liked this cover so much. So, okay, you have the Memorial Sketchbook.
Forget the actor's name.
I have the Batman Climbing on the Building. This is Batman Rebirth 28, signed by Neal. I have the old time Harley Quinn, the Court Jester. I'm sure the girls would like this. Signed by Neal, original art.
Harvey Keitel.
I have the Vault. And then I have a comic which has nothing to do with Neal, but it is signed by Neal, and he drew the Harley Quinn on it.
Very cool.
So this is a non-Neal comic where Neal decided to draw Harley Quinn. She's right up here. Nice big remark there. And it is signed by Neal, which again the girls will love. So cool piece, remark. And this is a 9.6 Batman Ninja Turtle yellow label.
Aaron says, love that remark.
Yeah, that's a really nice remark.
It is not a we mark. It is a remark.
That is a remark. So it's very cool. So that is Aaron's box. So those are my crazy Christmas boxes. I'm not going to make any promises. Maybe by Wednesday, maybe I can make some more boxes. Maybe.
Yeah, we
I give you a maybe.
we got a busy
I
couple
got
of
a
days
busy
ahead
week.
of us, Monday and Tuesday.
Right. So we'll see. So I would definitely tune in Wednesday if you're interested in getting a red box. I do have the red boxes, so I can do it if I can find the time to make them.
Brett says these are awesome Christmas boxes.
Right. And the ones I make are going to be for next Wednesday are 400. Phil, I'm going to make you a 3A box since we weren't sure where you fit in that. I'm not going to tell you how many hand sketches I have left. I have ones right here next to me on the wall.
We don't even know.
A lot of times, Jason, like this. This is a perfect example of continuity.
Well,
I
find
would
us
have
in the
said,
drawer.
oh, Wolverine we sold out 1,000,000 years ago. And then Jason pulled this out of the drawer. This is Neal. This is on our old stock paper that we originally started doing these on way before we got fancy with the, putting names of characters in the corners and making the artwork area smaller. But Jason just found this in the drawers the other day while he was pulling out artwork for me to be able to sell. I would have stated, nah, we don't have any more of these left. So, and this is a really nice Neal Adams Wolverine that we're selling for $700 since I have it out right now. So, and this is up for sale. So if anybody would like it, you can go home. He's looking for a forever home. Okay.
In case you want to adopt a Wolverine.
He loved the Neal Adams spittle. Neal loved doing Neal Adams spittle. Actually, what was really cool was when we were doing the Wolverine story he did, and I was doing Chris's World at that point.
Crispy Noodle.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was Chris's World?
It started at Chris's World. It was on the nealadams.com, and I would talk about the comic work we were doing. And Joel used to take me and make me into things like
Photoshop
that.
you.
Right, he'd Photoshop me into the comic work. So I decided not to have Joel do that, but I got Dad to do his mean Wolverine face, and I played Sabretooth. And that was lots of fun. And when Dad did the Wolverine,
shot.
He did spittle.
Yeah.
It took me 7 shots to get the right God, now I can't say his name. Sabretooth. So Dad could go right into character very quickly. Very easy for him. Okay, so we're going to do some art. So this is all art now, which this can go on the payment plan. Everything I've shown you before this does not go on the payment plan. So all of this has to get paid next week. We do our billing for tonight on Monday, so you won't even hear from us till Monday on bills. Make sure to direct message us if you bought boxes. Otherwise, I'll take your box and I'll send it to Phil. So,
You want your
okay.
plastic up?
What?
Your plastic.
I'm getting the plastic. Okay, so the artwork can go on the payment plan. The payment plan works by you can buy a piece of art, you take a third of that price as your down payment or a quarter, and then you pay off each month an amount of money which you control, whether it's going to be $50 $100, $1,000, whatever you're going to do. You control that as long as there's money that comes into us. Once it is all paid, we gladly ship the artwork out to you. The reason why we do this on artwork and not the other stuff is this is easier to put away up here, storage-wise and continuity. Boxes are horrible for storage and prints are horrible for storage. So, okay, everybody understands that? Nobody has any questions? Everybody's good? Okay, so Z, we are going to start with...
I know where we are.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it. You might
All
want
right.
to take the sticker off the front though.
Oops. Okay, so what we're looking at here is going to be Neal's, I get my notes here, Neal's color guide for one of the covers he did for DC's Rebirth #2 of Green Arrow. Neal did about, I want to say, 15 to 16 covers for the Rebirth Green Arrow series. This is his color guide, so this is hand painted by Neal. Because continuity wasn't digitally coloring these, this was being handled by DC. So when that happened, Neal would always do very tight, usually very tight coloring, especially if it was a piece where he wanted a specific type of lighting so that the colorist would understand what he was looking for. So this is Neal's coloring. Okay, right now what we're looking at is this is a scan of that art that we can then blow up and pan it for you. This is where if you're on Instagram and you can get over to YouTube, I would do it, or go on to Facebook. If you want to get onto Neal's YouTube, it's NealadamsDotcom. And you can get onto Neal's YouTube and then you can see this art. Really nice, big in frame. It's more controlled, easier to see. So again, what you're looking at is a color guide by Neal. This is hand colored by Neal. It is signed by Neal. And this was the cover for Rebirth #2, Green Arrow, which didn't end up coming out looking like this, but this is what Neal wished it to be. The price on this is $600 to buy. It is a signed piece by Neal. But again, you're looking at original color. All right, I'm going to move along here. Move along, little dog.
Keep that heart for ringing.
Okay, yeah, that color looks much nicer than the way it came out. Next piece is going to be Hulk. All right, this is one of Neal's earlier Hulk pieces. The size of this is 11 by 14. This is a finished pencil render of Hulk, which Neal started playing around with Hulk, which is a character that Neal didn't do a lot of. And it started when we did an Incredible Hulk cover. This is, again, 11 by 14. It is considered a finished pencil render, so Neal is using his pencil like ink. You're getting the shading and the lighting. It is 3,000 to claim. It is a signed piece by Neal. We always have to count the toes to make sure Neal has the correct amount of toes. Occasionally, Neal will throw in an extra toe. So we're showing it better so that you can see it. So 3,000 claim. It can go on the payment plan. Hulk finished pencil render. I also want to point out that a lot of pieces have been moving in the evening.
And over the weekend.
and over the weekends. So if there's something you're thinking about, don't be surprised if it goes. We had a couple of pieces leave in the middle of the night after doing the last show we did. Okay. This is a probably, what would you say the size of this is? Yeah.
9 by 12-ish.
Yeah, that's what I would think. 9 by 12 Batman. This is one of Neal's pencils for one of the pieces that he did for the show. Now this is done on tracing paper. But this is Neal's type pencil before he took it onto, I believe he may have done this one on white paper. He either did this one on white paper or he brought this onto the Canson paper. This is not signed by Neal because Neal generally wasn't thinking he was ever going to sell these, I don't think, because he was busy selling what he had finished as a finished piece. So the price on this is $900 to claim it. And we will have a certificate of authenticity that will go along with this, stating it is drawn by Neal. Okay. I'm just trying to get a good focus. I took it away from me.
You did.
Yeah. Okay.
Dastardly sister,
Next
you.
up is a fun piece. It is the M&M's locker. Now this is one of Continuity's commercial jobs. We've worked on M&M's for a number of years. You guys have heard me talk about that. We've sold a lot of M&M's. You guys now have all my Christmas M&M work. I don't have any more Christmas M&M work. So lonely this Christmas. This is obviously the red M&M is torturing the yellow M&M by sticking him in a locker. This is pencil and ink Neal. I will do a certificate of authenticity that goes along with this. It is $200 to buy. So cute M&Ms. Now this also can be colored by Zia. These color up great. For an additional fee. We love working on M&Ms. The only problem with working on M&Ms is then we would have to go out and buy M&Ms.
Milk chocolate doesn't melt in your hands.
Chris knows their colors because Chris wrote this work for many years. I knew too much about M&Ms. So this is $200 to buy. It is a really cute piece. It is 9 by 12, I would say, because it's on the tracing paper pad. Okay, next piece up is an 8.5 by 11 Batman. And this again is one of Neal's pencil layouts for a piece. This is $1,000 to buy. Now the great thing about these is that you get to see Neal's thinking. Like you would never see the shoulder that is still in this pencil that's sitting underneath the cape. Whereas you do get to see the shoulder under the cape. So that's all the stuff that Neal would work out. So some of it was worked out, you never saw it. It gets erased when it gets inked or it gets covered in ink. So the reason why I believe in these so much is that you're really getting to see his thinking. Sometimes he'll even make a change. You can see where he was and where he went. As Neal said, the reason why he worked with a plain, it used to be a Mongol #2 pencil or yellow pencil, is because it always has an eraser on the end of it. And Neal believed in the eraser on the end of it. Neal was not a mechanical pencil guy. So 1,000 for the Batman standing pencil layout. Okay, next one up is our favorite,
El Diablo.
El Diablo. Now this we did show last Wednesday. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. This is 8.5 by 11. This is El Diablo. This is a super cool piece. This is, I'm pretty sure, the only El Diablo Neal did while doing these type of pieces. He did this for himself. This is $1,500 to buy. This is pencil and ink Neal. Color on this is Zia. And this piece is signed by Dad, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It is a signed piece by Neal. It is $1,500 to buy. And I bet you this frames up really good. If you got the right mat on this with the right frame, and then you played that music underneath it hanging on your wall, that would be fantastic. I'd be playing all the movies, all the spaghetti western movie music in my living room with this on the wall.
My feet cut out again.
Wow.
I don't know why. Could just be Instagram's having problems
Might be tied into the music.
because you have it louder than you had it before. Could be. I mean, you can take it down. Okay, so El Diablo is 8.5 by 11. It is $1,500 to buy. And if you're on Instagram, I would go over to YouTube or Facebook.
They're not live at the moment.
Okay. All right. My price tag is buried.
That's okay. I have it written down.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna wait for Instagram to come back up. It comes back up. Okay, the size of this is large. This is 11 by 14. This is a really fantastic Two-Face drawing by Neal. This is based on the cover that Neal did on Two-Face. The collection, I believe, the hardback collection.
Okay, we're back on Instagram.
Okay, so this is Two-Face, obviously color piece. 11 by 14 is the size of this. It is $2,000 to purchase. This is pen and ink Neal. Color on this is Zia. I love that Neal can do a really pretty face and Neal can do a really ugly face.
Don't jinx me, Felix. He said, "See you with the perfect time." I'm like, "Don't jinx me, I'll screw it up."
And Kelly Russ just said, actually, the cover of Batman Annual number 14.
How about this eye? Yeah, I played with that eyeball.
Zia loves playing with gross things like that.
Explosions, fire, goo, eyeballs, blood,
Love
gore.
blood.
Yeah.
So 2000 for Two-Face.
Zia the Butcher.
Ooh. Stuck. Stuck in a rut. Okay. I did a couple of these pieces, but I'm going to come back to pieces we didn't do. Okay, we decided to call this the Problems piece because she's having problems with her bra. So it is a bra problem. So this is an antique piece of animation that we did for supposedly one of the first kind of like bra commercials. Because bras were not on TV for a long time. You can see that there are peg holes down at the bottom to hold the animation. And what you're looking at is Neal's pencil, which then they took that pencil and they copied it onto a piece of acetate, which made the black line, and then they painted those acetates. So we have the pencil and we have the painted acetate. And this is Neal, and it is not signed.
No.
So it's not signed, so we will put a certificate of authenticity gladly with this piece. It is $800 to claim. You get both the painted cell as well as the original pencil.
And that bust would actually make another like really nice pop art piece.
Yeah.
She's got a great expression.
And we call this the problem piece.
Yep, she's been wearing her 18-hour bra for 24 hours.
She must work with continuity.
She must.
And she is $800 to buy. So she's really cute. It's a really nice pencil by Neal. Really gorgeous face. Really nice hair.
Sounds great, Felix. I would love to see it. I can never have too much reference. In fact, one of my favorite pieces of reference I lost because I thought for sure I'd be able to Google find it again, but no.
And she's not too bad about it. So this
Oh man. I hold a grudge against Google.
You got
image
that from
search.
Mom. Mom lost some skin ones.
Yeah.
There was some muscle builder she used and she couldn't find the piece. And she like lost her mind too. Okay, I'm showing the Justice League piece again. This is a finished pencil where again Neal is using his pencil like ink work. This is obviously Justice League based off of the actors. The price on this is $8,000 to buy. It will have a certificate of authenticity that goes along with it.
You got 99 problems.
Gorgeous piece of art. And then we're going to show it one more time in pan. So we have Aquaman, Flash, not Flash, Cyclops, sorry. Now we have Flash.
Cyborg.
Cyborg. Cyclops. Good, I'm doing
Cyclops.
it. It's getting late.
I know.
Wonder Woman,
It's been-
Batman, and Superman.
It's been a week. This is the second time we've been like, it's been a week in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, because we're taking on a new program.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so 8,000 for this piece. The size of this piece is very large. It's 1117.
That's actually bigger than 1117. That's more closer to 13.
18.
Looks 13 by 19.
It's
It's a
18
little
and
short.
a half. To be exact.
Yeah.
Well, actually, 18 and a quarter. Fine.
Dad's weirdo freaking pieces.
Yeah, like 13 and a quarter. Dad's crazy dimensions. 8,000 to buy. Okay, next up is Warlord. Now this is a prelim by Neal. It is 1,200 to buy. Hello, Glenn.
Hey, Glenn.
So this is a Warlord preliminary drawing by Neal. This is 1,200 to buy. This is really a nice piece. I like that there are skulls and spears and death, destruction, axes. It's when I realized, like, I did not grow up in a normal environment.
That was when you realized?
I didn't actually realize
Felix
it
Stead is ink.
until I started talking to my friends later in life. And realized, like, their parents weren't sure if they should be able to come over to our house because Dad always worked behind curtains.
What is that man doing behind the curtain? He's
He's the Wizard of Oz.
drawing people being decapitated.
Because Dad would work with an autograph machine, which is kind of like a light box, but a giant machine light box. And you would have to hide that in the dark during daylight. So my dad was like a vampire. And they always could see him working through the night because we worked in a medical area where the hospital was. So most of my friends' parents were interns or nurses. So they would come home themselves at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning shifts. And then they'd see my dad through the curtain drawing, or our curtains were always drawn during the daylight. So we were the Adams family. I just didn't have a lurch to answer the door. Okay, so this is a Warlord piece by Neal. It's a preliminary drawing. The size I would say on this is probably 8 by 10. And the price on this is
1,200.
1,200.
Is it not showing up on the screen?
It is. It's just
Okay.
I have words over it.
Words.
Those words. Okay. Next one up is an 11 by 14. This is Joker punching out Batman. This is a pencil and ink by Neal. Color on this is Zia. Yep. But then they would like finally meet my parents, and then my dad would have long conversations outside with parents. And you all know what that was like. So pen and ink Neal, coloring this is Zia. 2,800 to claim. Cool animation work by Neal. $2,800 to purchase. Well, we like doing the pans and scans because it allows you to see things bigger, clearer, and better. And we'll get better at doing them as we go along. This one we refer to as the Batman with the short ears. Batman with short ears is 11 by 14. This is an older piece that originally someone had bought and then kind of abandoned it. Because this certificate of authenticity that goes with this piece actually has Neal's thumbprint on it. So this is cool, and it is an older piece that Neal did. So it is a stockier Batman. We refer to it as kind of Frank Miller-esque. It is $3,000 to buy. It is a pending Neal. Plus, these new pan and scans allow you to see the liner, because I know a lot of times I go, oh, Neal did all this like fantastic line art on this, and you guys don't really get to see the line art. The pan and scans allow us to come in sometimes very tight on the line art, so you can see what I'm talking about when I say it's tight. Or it's slick.
Yep, and we'll also be able to include stills once I get everything
Right.
sort of set up, so you can have like a nice tight shot of the face if you wanted it and just be still on it and that kind of stuff. Got all sorts of crazy plans going on here.
Right.
All sorts.
And it is signed by Neal. The size of this again is 1114. This one was the monkey one that we showed, the angry apes, which we're not sure yet where this comes from. It is on it's an 11 by 14 piece of paper. It is pencils. It is $1,200 to buy. And Neal is doing some pencil rendering on this.
And this was wasn't this a tattoo?
Oh, that's right.
This
We
was a
got that from
tattoo.
Maryland. It was a tattoo.
Yeah.
You are right. I completely forgot. So this was actually a tattoo design, because Maryland chimed in. Because I guess it's something that somebody ordered at a convention, and Neal did it as a tattoo. So I guess the guy wanted some kind of chimpanzee type monkey beating up a orangutan monkey.
I think that's a dad and his kids. I think this was a dad that got this, and he's got 3 kids.
I think so.
That's where my brain goes when I see this.
So, cool piece, one of a kind for sure. By Neal for $1,200. Signed by Neal. Nice pencil signature there by Mr. Adams. Nice penmanship.
Mm.
All right, we're cruising along here. I am going to have some original pages here in a minute. Okay, so I don't want to confuse people, so I'm going to do this one first. This is an older print of Miss Mystic, which Neal did what we call a wee mark at the bottom. And the reason why we call it a wee mark is it's little, but it's real detailed. And we almost missed it. We just thought it was like another Miss Mystic print. This is $600 to buy. This is Miss Mystic from the Heroes portfolio print. And wait for it. There's a little Miss Mystic down there. Now that is an original hand drawing by Neal of Miss Mystic.
And like I said, we will be able to display stills of tight shots like this.
Right. There you go. That way you can see the little wee Miss Mystic. This is a cool piece, $600 to buy. Again, you're looking at a print with a original little drawing of Miss Mystic at the bottom. It is a full figure, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that we mark at that circle C in TM Chris and Zia.
Yeah, how do you draw that little? And
I don't know,
believe-
but Dad rocks
I
it.
believe that is an original signature. Yes, it is a pencil. And it's 9 of 100, but I don't think he did 9 wee marks.
No,
I just think
this
he
is a
picked up
one.
a 9 of 100.
This is a one-off.
HU is going to claim the wee mark.
Woohoo! Thank you. Oh,
It's
sweet.
listing on PayPal if you keep the number 13 I ordered. So he has this in 13 as well.
Ah,
Okay, Rich?
So he wants both?
I believe he wants both of what he's saying.
That's what I'm not understanding.
Okay, so HU, you want your number 13 as well as this one, correct?
we mark. All right. So, well, that wasn't HU.
Yes, Jason, we know there's only one wee mark.
Okay, so elsewhere we don't quite understand. Just say I want number 13 or I do not want number 13. Then we will know.
Or you want both. Or no. He's probably on a bit of a delay.
Yeah. No, I'm right.
What's the price on this one?
600
Oh, did I not put the banner up?
for the wee mark.
Yeah, he wants just the number 9. So he wants me to
Okay,
pull
so
out.
he just wants the wee mark. Okay, not a problem.
With weenie. That's my name. You can't have me. Actually,
Okay,
only Chris calls me weenie.
so I'm gonna put HU on this one. And I'm gonna write whole other one. Okay. Okay. There we go. And I'm gonna put that over here. Okay, next up is a Wolverine that was done for Toastettes. This is on 8.5 by 11 tape. No, it's bigger than 8.5 by 11. It is $500 to buy. No, maybe it is 8.5. He fills 8.5 by 11. This is I'm not going to say it's a pencil render. It is a prelim that has been done in ink to size Wolverine into a Toastette commercial. So this is Neal's prelim for that. This is $500 to buy. It will come with a certificate of authenticity.
I'm gonna have to back up in a sec.
Okay.
Ian Dorian has joined us, and he says, I love the energetic line work and the dynamic action.
Thank you. That is all that Neal Adams is about. So Wolverine is $500 for the Toastettes. Okay, next up is we're doing a pan scan of the Batman Odyssey page that Neal Adams himself rejected and redid it a different way, which is very similar to this. So what you're looking at is Neal's pencils and then his beginning of his inks on this page. This page is $8,000 to buy. Again, if you move over to Facebook or you move over to YouTube, you're going to see this up tight and close. And actually, for as many times as I looked at this, if you look at the figures, you're going to see X's on them. That is Neal figuring out his perspective lines, which I didn't see that till today when Z and I were sitting at the scanner.
Well, they're more like crosshairs.
Well, they're more like crosshairs, but that is where the Joker, Batman, and who's the third character that's up there?
Oh, the one all the way on the front? I don't know.
Is it a Batman always in the front?
There's someone in front of him.
Is that Roz all the way on the front?
He's got a tie on.
Well, no, that's his back. So
Yeah, that's his back.
tail,
Yeah.
ponytail. I don't know what that is. Who that is?
Might be Roz. But what's interesting is you're seeing how Neal actually, that has not been erased, so that's on there. And like I said, for as many times as I've had this, I have never noticed that till today. So what again you're looking at is a page size, which is 1117. This was a page that Neal was doing for his Batman Odyssey series, and he changed it. And the way he changed it was he added Man Bat into this. So if you look for the page, you're going to see the tunnel, you're going to see Joker, you're going to see Batman, and you're going to see Man Bat in it. It is very similar to this, when Neal had changed his mind, even though he had done this much work on it. And we're selling this for $8,000. Those are Neal's pencils, Neal's beginning inks. The bottom panel is exactly the way he drew it in Batman Odyssey. That he didn't change. And that is $8,000 to buy for the Batman Odyssey piece. Okay, next up we're going to do Batman Yellow. He's going to be taking over the Instagram camera as well as running the other ones, so we're going to slow down a little bit to finish off the show.
I'm going to apologize ahead of time for anybody that I don't wave to on Instagram. And actually, you could rotate a little bit more straight from you. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
So this is Batman. He is 8.5 by 11. And this is Neal, once again, doing a finished pencil render. He is using some ink on this, but he's also using his pencil for shading. If you're on the YouTube or Facebook Neal Adams's, you're going to see this finally the way I see it. Which is why I'm always yelling, this is a really good piece, guys. This is $5,000 to buy. It is signed by Neal. So he's going to do a second pan on it.
Ian Dorian says, wow, 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 that's the quintessential Dark Knight.
I personally love how Neal does teeth. There's hardly any artists in comics that do teeth.
Yeah, they either don't separate the teeth so they're blocks or they're chiclets.
Right, or they're weird. Neal does great teeth. So $5,000. I think every comic artist out there could learn by looking at Neal's teeth.
Amen.
Just like Neal did different ears for people. I'm sure he did different teeth, but his teeth look like teeth.
It was mostly the canines that would be different depending on the character.
So $5,000 for this great piece of art. It is signed by Neal. It is a great piece. I'm happy finally to show it, that you see it the way I see it. Okay, next up is, this is a piece we've shown before, but you've never seen it with the way we're shooting now, where we're doing the pans and scans. So this is the Conan that Neal drew and painted. Zia did the rest of the work on this, like the blood on the axe and definitely the background. This is $2,000 to buy. The size of this is 8.5 by 11. The sad maracas broke, Andrea. So happy Towers bought me these new ones, these two little ones. but my maracas died. My sad maracas bit the dust. It just kind of cracked. The handle cracked off.
A lot of aggressive maracasing happened
Yes.
when they could not stand the strain of it.
So here you can see what Zia talks about her fabulous blood work. I think the face on Conan painted by Neal is fantastic on this piece. Just the hard kind of dread of Conan in some ways. Great coloring on his shoulders. You feel the dirt on his hands. You feel the blood on that sword or axe.
Yeah.
Really nice piece. So this piece is $2,000 to buy. It is 8.5 by 11. Is this signed by them?
Yes, the signature is under his thigh.
Okay. And it is a signed piece by Neal. Neal loved this piece. So I just find the face on this piece to be really interesting. Because it's Neal, but it's not Neal. But it is Neal.
Mm.
It's not his usual Conan face. It's a little bit
It's
more
real, only a bit more savage.
Yeah.
And chunky.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Where are we, Z?
We're on Jade. Unless you wanna- You can skip if you want.
I'm gonna skip Chi because we did Chi. And I'm gonna do Jade.
Fair enough.
All right. So 8.5 by 11. This is our Mortal Kombat work that we did and Neal did. Neal did. Where this is the character Jade. She is a sought after card. That is the original art to the Mortal Kombat project. It is penciled and inked, by Neal. And then there is the Mortal Kombat card that we put along with this. Now, in this case, Neal wrote his name on the card. Night, Rich. But I don't think he wrote his name on the
No, I don't
artwork.
think the signature is on there.
Right, so the signature is on the card. We will put a certificate of authenticity with this piece. So this would be considered a published piece of art. It is a published trading card, and it is part of Mortal Kombat. So this is $1,200 to claim or buy. Really nice piece. I'm sure Mortal Kombat will be around for a long time.
Mortal Kombat!
Exactly.
Blessed with immortal speed and cunning, she ambushes her opponents just as they near the final bouts.
Yo, yo, yo. Mortal Kombat.
Felix is laughing at me.
Okay. Next up is, we refer to this as the Batman Forever Reflection Rough. So this is an 11 by 14 or thereabouts. This is a rough that was for Batman Forever before we found out that this was going to be a very stylized project. I'm surprised that Neal didn't pick this up and try selling it as a cover.
Yeah.
Because I think the design of this is fabulous. But I guess it probably just got lost in the shuffle of continuity. But that is Batman. Obviously, there's a reflection that you're seeing under Batman. It's a very cool layout. Signed by Neal. This is $2,000 to buy.
And the signature is in pencil.
Yes.
Ian Dorian is going to sing, "Geez, look at that!" And I bet he sounded just like that when he said it too.
Knowing Ian, probably. Very cool design. I even like the circular where the feet are, where
The
water
ripples.
goes
The ripples.
away from you. Okay, so we're coming up to the last piece of the night. And it's going to be Thor.
So Thor.
Go Thor. Okay. Thor is 11.
Ian Dorgan says, I did, haha.
Thor is 11 by 14. That is a pencil prelim for a Thor print that Neal sold during all of his conventions. This is $1,500 to buy. And again, you're seeing how Neal works out the areas that he cares about, that he wants to lay out and make sure he's got it right. And then he loosens out on the areas he doesn't really worry about too much. And what I'm learning is Neal does not worry about capes because his capes are usually the roughest parts of his layouts. It is always faces, chests, and shoulders.
Costumes. Getting
Right.
costumes right. Yeah.
Right, sometimes it is the costumes, but always the face, the shoulder, positioning of what he wants is tight.
And also, the funny thing about the closed captioning screwing up spelling and stuff is there was a guy from YouTube who was watching Dad's science videos who sent me an email asking me questions, and he goes, "I didn't realize that Zia was a person. I thought like I'm looking all over the internet for Zia software for moving continents," and I'm like, "Well, I guess technically I'm software." Hardware?
That's a pretty funny one. Okay, so basically that is our show.
I think if they ever do make software that does what I did for the planets and the continents coming
they
together,
should call it
they
Zia.
need to name it Zia.
They should.
They have to.
All right, I'm going to throw this one out there because this is fun. I don't have a pan to scan of this, but I love this piece personally. This is Neal doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I think it's a fabulous piece. It's pen and ink Neal. It is $800 to buy. Who doesn't need a screaming turtle?
Right?
I certainly do. This is available to buy. Next week on Wednesday, I might do some of our CGCs for those people. Excuse me, for those people who are interested in CGCs. We will be doing some CGCs next week because I've ignored CGCs for a bit. We have original art drawn on covers that have been CGC'd, as well as just plain old comics that have been CGC'd. I will try and do some boxes, guys, but like I said, I'm not going to swear to God I will have it on Wednesday, but I will try. So I would tune in with us if you're interested in that. Phil, I will take care of a box for you for sure. And if anyone needs to see anything, I will gladly pull it out. Or if there's something you see behind me that you want to see, I will gladly pull it. If not, then I think Z and I are going to head home. It's
Home.
Friday.
Oh!
I'm so happy it's Friday. Could you show some of the prints you had at the beginning? I missed the start of the show. I'll show a couple of them. Can I see the Wolverine? I'm going to show the Wolverine first because that's right here. There's our Wolverine. And I can go through the prints quickly.
Oh, my focus looks good. Yay. I won't have to play with that.
All right, so before you go for it, I'm just going to say, we're going to do a little bit of Zia on Wednesday night this coming week. Zia has some
I'll give you a little teaser.
new pieces that she's going to be showing that are pretty cool. My understanding is maybe I can get a chicken out of her. Like I said, see, and I have a busy week coming up of entertainment. So this is the Wolverine piece for $700. It is signed by Neal. It is one of our older pieces. The head of this is actually larger than the heads are on like what I just showed the Ninja Turtle. And that was one of the reasons why we redesigned this paper, because Neal was like, I'm drawing too much. This is $700 to buy, which is a great price for the size of that Wolverine head. You can feel Neal hitting me in the back of the head going, what are you doing, Chris? But that's how I roll. $700 on Wolverine. Okay, so that answers Happy Towers wanting to see. Again, if there's anybody else who wants to see anything, just go ahead and yell it out.
Is there a better day for me to pick up? Happy Towers wants to know.
Just like stay in touch with us. When you feel you want to come over, then just message us. We'll just say yay, nay, it's good, it's bad, it's awful. You know, maybe we'll put you on air with us. Who knows what will happen.
I mean, if you want to catch me here, best day is Friday, but I don't know.
I don't know if we're here next Friday.
I don't know if we're here next Friday.
You may be here next Friday. Okay, so this is Gigi. Gigi is one of Zia's paintings, which is based on Neal's Ben Casey's. This is a Giclée. The size of this is 20 by 20, and this is $200 to buy. Okay, Happy Towers, we will try and squeeze you in on Tuesday. You might be met by Martha and Julia, but okay. Next up is a very large. This is like 22 by 24, something like that. This is the Batman Ra's al Ghul piece. This piece is $200 to buy. These are also not signed by Neal because these were done after Neal had passed. So these get a hologram sticker on the back of them.
Actually,
of Neal's
this one-
signature.
This one is not one of those.
That's painted. No, that's
That's the paint. Oh,
that's the painted signature.
Wow.
I know it gets confusing.
oh my God.
That is-
I'm going to shut up from here on out.
That's a painted signature. Not a real one. Okay.
Derp. Your prints are going to fall off.
Thanks. This is a 13 by 19. This is a painting by Neal of Green Lantern for $200. Again, this was done after Neal, so this gets the hologram signature. The size of this is 13 by 19 for $200. Gorgeous piece. This frames up really nice. Ooh, excuse me. This is Maggie. Maggie is 13 by 19. This is one of Zia's paintings based off of Neal Adams' Ben Casey pieces. This is $200 to buy. Again, her size is 13 by 19. And this one is Maggie. Again, based on Ben Casey. Painted by Zia. This is a Giclée. I'm just going through these quickly.
Yep.
We have 20 by 20 Green Lantern. This is painted by Neal. This is a Giclée. Again, this was done after Neal had passed. It will have a signature above it, not a signature above it, a hologram signature that goes with it. This again is 20 by 20. This one is painted by Neal. And all of these are based off of panels that Neal did in comics. Okay, this is Zia. This one is called Ginger. Ginger is 20 by 20. This is off of Ben Casey, painted by Zia. And obviously using Neal as her underpiece, which is the reason why she's got Neal's signature. The way he wrote his name during Ben Casey is on this. This is $200 to buy. 20 by 20 is the size. This piece, like I always tell you guys, you really need to look at this piece. This piece is gorgeous. This is 13 by 19. What is Maggie saying? Maggie says,
Oh, that's the one that says, and what are you going to do about it?
and what are you going to do about it?
Which I like because whenever I run into a situation that's like upset me or irritated me or I'm stuck on something, Maggie says, and what are you going to do about it?
Okay, what we're looking at, which is like I was saying, piece you should pay attention to. This is a gorgeous piece. Granted, it's a little bloody, but it is a gorgeous piece. It is 13 by 19 of Conan, painted by Neal. Happy Terror says he wants Maggie.
All right, so you're
So
claiming
are you-
a Maggie print?
Are you buying a Maggie print? Okay, I'm going to keep going. So Conan is 13 by 19. Conan is $200 to buy. He is not signed by Neal. This is a beautiful painted piece by Neal. The white paint that he uses on this is fantastic. I have this in the, can't wait to see it.
I think he's referring to Conan on that one.
Okay.
And yes, he's claiming a Maggie.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I will put Happy Towers on Maggie.
Woo-hoo. Wee, 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 wee. There you go. You have not been using your not so button tonight.
Yay. That's true.
You
I
used
can
it
do
once
for
and
the
then
box.
chaos happened.
Okay. Now we're down to prints. We had a 13 by 19 print of Superman based on that famous cover that Neal did. But this is a redo of that done by Neal. This is digitally done. And this is digitally done by, is it you or Mom?
Mom had to have been mom.
Okay, so this is digitally done by Corey Adams. This is $100 to buy because these are older prints, and I believe they are signed by Neal because they are signed by Neal because these are older pieces. So $100 for Superman. We had Joker Catwoman's 80th anniversary, 13 by 19, signed by Neal for $100. These were two variant covers that Neal had designed to be able to put together just like this in order to do prints because he was doing them at conventions. And this is signed by Neal. This is $100 to buy. We had this amazing Spider-Man, which was a variant cover that Neal did for a Montreal convention. This was the print that Montreal convention also did, signed by Neal for $100. And the size of this is 11/17. You make me laugh, Andrea. We have Wonder Woman 13 by 19 pencil and ink. Neal color in this is, beautiful work. Look at that leather shield, guys. That shield is not metal. And Zia made it feel like leather. That's what Zia does. That is $100 to buy.
You know me, I like my textures.
Zia can sign this. It is signed by Neal. Spider-Man was also signed by Neal. These prints are $100 each. But I want you guys to look at that shield. Okay. My last one for the night was the Batman, or the one I started with actually, it was the Batman Ra's al Ghul Treasury cover, because supposedly DC is doing a facsimile edition in Treasury size that will be available to the public coming up, because as a comic retailer, I was like, oh my God. So I decided to put this out. This is signed by Neal. It is 13 by 19. Like I said, it is a famous Treasury size Batman Ra's al Ghul. Oh my God, it's so evil looking. Peace. So that was my prints to answer Jim Hackett from the beginning of the show. And then you missed great boxes tonight. There are my Holly Jolly.
They went like hotcakes.
There were my Holly Jolly Christmas boxes that had Santa Claus on them. Nobody said anything about my Santa Claus. And I had to find that and dig that up from hell. Because Dad did not draw too many Santa Clauses for me to use for my Holly Jolly boxes. He's very stingy with his art.
The textured background was a combination of the drawing was Dad's pencil, but the texture was some sort of film or filter
Metal
or plating thing that they used for it, which I have not been able to recreate as of yet.
Well, because we don't print the way we used to print. He started doing a lot of that stuff actually at Warren Magazine. If you find Neal's early Warren work, you're going to see an awful lot of that playing around that he did.
Andrea is trying to figure out how to safely remove the Santa Claus from the box.
He's a cool Santa. Maybe I'll make a print of Neal's Santa. A little print? Maybe I can make a print. Can you make a little print?
By Wednesday?
Yeah, just throw that on the list of
All right.
stuff we're doing because we don't have enough.
I mean, it'll never get to anybody in time.
It
It won't arrive by Christmas.
won't
I don't
arrive by
think.
Christmas. That's true.
How much is this print? Which one? The Batman?
All the
that was
prints
200.
No, this is 100.
Oh, that
these
one's
prints
100.
were 100.
100 happy hours.
Batman Rosalind Treasury was 100. Our new prints from New York Comic Con were 200. Our older prints are 100.
Andrea says she's been plotting throughout the show.
Okay, so
Just so you guys know, I am not above stealing my dad's layouts from my own design. You know, if other artists can do it, why can't I?
I think you've worked alongside each other for enough years. You had that right, Zia.
Well, Dad would roll his eyes and turn away, but he would smile while he was doing it, which meant it was okay.
All right, so Z
Okay.
and I are going to say...
Happy Tower says, I'll claim it, but I don't know if I have it. All right. We will find out.
we will find out for you.
So
Happy
that's
Towers.
the Batman Treasury.
Right. And we'll check, because I know you have some stuff here that you're coming to get, finally. All right, so what was I going to say? Okay, Z and I are going to take off. If you're watching this either later tonight, this Friday night, or over the weekend, you can always direct message us through Facebook and Instagram. If you have any questions or you'd like to claim something or you want to know something, we're generally around. It may be a little rougher this weekend because we're just in the Christmas rush. But we generally will get back even over the weekends.
Yes, and for those of you on YouTube, until we have figured out how you can direct message us, I have just put up the Facebook name to look for on Facebook. You can direct message us on there.
Right. We will be back on Wednesday next week. I don't think we're going to do Friday. Just so you guys know, we'll be in our usual time slot of like 7:30 for Wednesday. We're going to have some other things we're doing as well next week. Is there anything else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't think so. I think that's it.
Nope, we have videos to shoot. We have stuff to prepare for.
Exactly.
And I have to see if I can get Instagram working through the StreamYard.
Right. We're going to try getting the Instagram.
Yes,
to work
and
at our
snow
new-
slime.
And we are making snow slime next week.
Yes.
For the kids.
And of course, the return of Martha and Julia.
Martha and Julia.
I said Martha and Julia.
I'm just making sure you say Martha.
On the Julia Child's Art of French Cooking.
On the Martha Stewart, how to make alcoholic beverages.
Well, I will say you do that far more potently than I do. But I will be there to drink as much as I can manage.
Right. And we will talk about Neal. And I think we might have a special person who's going to pop on.
That is correct.
We're hoping. So, anyway, we're going to say goodnight, Z.
Good night, Z.
And we even have Neal saying goodnight to you guys tonight.
Ooh,
Because we did pull up a piece of Neal.
I
And
forgot
we
about
felt in our new format, we needed to bring Neal back. So we cut a piece of Neal out of an old video. And we're going to end our show with Neal tonight. So hold on until you see Neal, and then you guys can all go to bed.
that. Ready?
Ready?
Here it comes.
Here we go.
Right, now I'd like to bid you a fondue.
That was it. Bye.